You go.
Hello, Todd Clemens, Okeechobee Livestock Market, and here's your weekly market report. A little bit shortened this week. I went around all day long yesterday thinking it was Monday, but it was Tuesday and I was a day behind. So it's a short week, but we did have a good run of cattle after the Labor Day holiday yesterday, close to 1,500 head for the one day. After we had almost 4,000 head, or maybe a little over 4,000 head last week, so a lot of cattle are moving. Prices held up pretty steady. Cows and bulls on the slaughter side they were steady, fully steady with a good run. We had a lot of cows bringing up over 70 cents, and we had a few bulls hovering around that dollar mark, just under it. Slaughter prices are holding up good with good supply out there. Did hear in the news a couple days ago that Brazil has confirmed cases of BSE, atypical BSE, aka mad cow disease, which may affect the market in some way. I'm not sure yet how, but China now has suspended exports from that country. And maybe that'll swing things back around our way for a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be a big market swing. Those things hit the news, and then 2 or 3 days later, something else will happen, and then that'll fall off, and they'll pick up on something else. So I don't think it's going to be a real market shaker there, but it is newsworthy to kind of keep your eye on it. The feeder calf market was pretty steady. We had a lot of good quality calves here this week, and I saw some 500-pound calves selling pretty good there, around $1.55 to $1.60 on the 5-weight calves, and the 4-weight calves are bumping up there around $1.80, which is pretty good for this time of year. As we've mentioned before previously, September's a tough month, a lot of volume. Buyers can be a little bit more picky on what they're buying, and for these prices to hold up the way they are is pretty good, I think. And most everybody seems to be happy and tickled when they pick their checks up, is the main thing. So what's going on? As far as the feedlots and the fat cattle market and the futures board, there's a lot of things going on there. The futures have been hammered the last 2 or 3 days. Just when there was a lot of talk about being more current in the feedlots and packers needing to come out there and buy more cattle, the cash prices have not increased. As of today, actually, they're probably $1 or $2 lower than they were last week. We were hoping we would be getting up there around $1.30 on those cash prices, but when August closed off the board and October's now the lead month on the fat cattle board, they've probably lost $4 or $5 in the last few days, which is bringing the fat market down on the commodities board. And then the packers, with the futures falling off like that, they're not stepping out there and paying any more money on the cash side of it. And there's still not enough cattle being traded on a cash negotiated price. It's still a lot of grids and formulas and buying up cattle with time on them, so packers don't have to step out there when they need supply and really go out there and hammer these guys and try to bid them up. So that's just not happening yet. We still think that quarter 4 of this year and quarter 1 of 2022 will come back and sway back a little bit more on the producer side instead of the other side. And meat is still trading high in the retail end. Boxed beef prices are still high for this time of year, even though we're past Labor Day. We're past that big buy-up point, and boxed beef cutout prices have fallen down, but we don't see that happening too much on the retail level. The coronavirus deviant thing that's going around here in Okeechobee and all over, it's everywhere you go, you're hearing about that. You don't see quite as many people in the restaurants. You don't see quite as many people out, and if they are, they're wearing masks. It's kind of like we're going back to the same way we were last year. So I think maybe the retail and restaurant sales probably are going to be affected by that, but that maybe will increase the supermarkets selling more retail there at the grocery stores. I don't know how that's going to play out either, but still it has a lot to do with what the prices are going on right now. That's about all I can tell you about that. There is news that you just keep your eyes and ears open for events that are going on that might affect these cattle prices. But right now things are selling pretty good, and I expect next week to have a pretty good run of cattle after this shortened week, this shortened holiday week. I think we'll come back next week with a good run of cattle, and prices are still holding up, and if you need to bring them in, it's probably not a bad time to go ahead and bring them on in. On the high prices for the week, on that report, we've got a little old calf, and not so little actually, weighed 300 pounds from Circle P Cattle. A 300-pound steer calf brought $2.20, bought by Enterprise. And on the slaughter cow side, Larson Dairy had a 1,815-pound cow that brought $75.50, bought by Florida Beef. That's your market report.